Right now, the global oil system is under serious pressure. Saudi Arabia is attempting something extraordinary, redirecting its oil supply across a massive desert to avoid one of the most dangerous shipping routes in the world. As of March 2026, the global energy map is changing rapidly. For decades, the Strait of Hormuz has been one of the most critical choke points on Earth, with nearly 20% of the world's oil passing through it. But after rising tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran in late February, that long-feared risk has become reality. The strait is now heavily disrupted. Mines, drone activity, and ongoing threats have slowed or even blocked oil shipments. Estimates suggest that up to 17 million barrels of oil per day have been affected. This is not just a regional issue, it's a global economic shock. While many countries are struggling to respond, Saudi Arabia has activated a decades-old backup plan. It's known as the Yanbu route. This system includes a massive pipeline stretching about 1,200 kilometers, moving oil from the eastern oil fields to the Red Sea. Traditionally, Saudi oil exports relied on the Persian Gulf, but now they are being redirected west. This strategy dates back to the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, when Saudi Arabia realized it needed an alternative export route. That's when the East-West pipeline, also called Petroline, was built. This is not an ordinary pipeline. It's a large-scale industrial system that crosses deserts and mountains. To move thick crude oil across such distances, powerful pumping stations are used to maintain constant pressure. Right now, this pipeline is operating at full capacity, around 7 million barrels per day. That's an enormous volume, enough to supply a significant portion of global demand. All of this oil is being directed to the Red Sea city of Yanbu, and Yanbu is rapidly transforming into a major global oil hub.
Earlier this year, it handled about 1.4 million barrels per day. Now, that number has surged significantly and continues to rise. However, there's a critical limitation. The pipeline can transport more oil than Yanbu can export. This creates a bottleneck at the port. As a result, large oil tankers are now waiting offshore, forming a kind of floating queue. Many of these vessels are massive, over 300 meters long, and capable of carrying around 2 million barrels each. Coordinating this operation is extremely complex. And despite avoiding one major risk, Saudi Arabia now faces another. The oil leaving Yanbu must pass through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This narrow passage connects the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean and is vital for global trade. But it has become increasingly unstable. Attacks and threats in the region have raised serious concerns. Because of this, some shipping companies are choosing to avoid the route entirely. Instead, they are rerouting ships around Africa. This adds 10 to 15 days to the journey and significantly increases costs, fuel usage, and delays. Here's the key issue. Most of the oil from Yanbu depends on this route, especially large tankers that cannot pass through the Suez Canal when fully loaded. So the risk hasn't been eliminated, it has simply shifted location. Now the stability of nearby regions, especially around the Horn of Africa, has become critically important. If instability increases, this entire strategy could be at risk. The only alternative would be rerouting ships around the Cape of Good Hope, but that would add nearly 6,000 miles and about 2 extra weeks to each journey, and those costs would impact the global economy. Despite all these challenges, something significant is happening. Saudi Arabia is reshaping its energy strategy. It is shifting its focus from the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea. This move is also part of its long-term development plan, Vision 2030. In the future, this corridor may carry more than just oil, potentially including energy infrastructure and even hydrogen transport. So this pipeline is no longer just a backup system. It is becoming a central part of Saudi Arabia's future. However, it's not a perfect solution. It doesn't remove risk, it only changes where that risk exists. Because in global energy, there are no completely safe routes, only different challenges. And when one route fails, the world is forced to adapt.